Hey, what's up Overlanders? It's Duncan from overlandjournals.com here in South Australia. We're all in the lifestyle of overlanding because we love it. It's a serious amount of fun. But did you know a Tupperware box and a GPS can add a heap more fun to that? Welcome back. Now, if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe because my channel is all about sharing my experiences in overlanding with the rest of the community. And I always believe the more we share, the better it is for all of us because I also learn from everybody else. So do subscribe. My last week's video was about a sub $200 GPS, off-road GPS in a tablet. If you missed that, go check it out. The link above and in the description below. Today's video, you could say, is sort of a continuation from there, and it was purely out of a question that was asked by one of my subscribers. Now, you know who you are, so thank you for that. So today's video is about something where this can be a lot more fun in addition to being your navigational aid. And in that video, I talked about how I find having my off-road maps in a tablet instead of a standalone unit can be a lot more advantageous, and that's because you could put a whole lot of other apps in here which you could not do necessarily in a standalone unit. So I've got a whole heap of overlanding related apps that I would find useful in my tablet in addition to the main maps that I have. Now today's video is about one such app, and I find whenever I travel, using that app along with my main maps gives me a whole heap of fun, gives me a whole different dimension to my overland touring. So let's get into it. When we were growing up and our parents took us camping, something they used to do to keep us occupied was to have treasure hunts. And that was a heap of fun. We really enjoyed it. But today, treasure hunts is at a totally different level altogether. It's a massive global phenomenon, you could say, and it's called geocaching. It's a huge global community. Everybody's involved in it wherever in the world it may be. And if you haven't heard of geocaching, I'll explain in this video and how it works and how you can add it to your overlanding trips. If you're already into it and if you're already doing it, please go ahead and leave comments below. It'd be awesome I would love to learn from you guys what you do, and also it'd be awesome to share with the rest of the community. So today's video is all about geocaching and how serious fun it can be. And if you haven't never got into geocaching, or if you're thinking about it because you just heard it somewhere, watch this video till the end and you will see it's this whole heap of fun. So now to what geocaching is. Now, I'm not going to go into the historical details of how geocaching started and how far back it started. I'm not going to get into that. There's a lot of information out there on that. One thing I will tell you is there's millions and millions of people all over the world into geocaching. So basically, geocaching is quite simple. There's treasures hidden all over the country, even the cities. What I find interesting is they're hidden all over the outback as well. And once somebody has hidden this treasure, what they then do is they note down the coordinates of where the treasure is, and then they post it on this common platform, the geocaching platform, and then it's up to us to go and try and find it. So usually once you're using your GPS or a GPS enabled smartphone, all you do is punch in the GPS coordinates and try and get yourself there. I will do a demo at the very end of this video, so just wait for that. But once you find your cache or your treasure, it's usually in a Tupperware box, and in that Tupperware box you will always find a little notebook and a little treasure in there. So the notebook and a pen as well. So the notebook, the whole idea of the notebook is to, once you find it, you log in the details of what you found, the date you found it, and maybe leave a comment or so, and then you put it back in there. And then whatever treasure you find inside it. Now, one of the things I found some years back was a set of coasters. Not these particular ones, I've used them and they've worn away, but I just put them in here as an example. So it could be anything really. So once you've found that and you've registered in the logbook, then all you do is replace it with something else that you've taken along, and then close the Tupperware box, hide it back or put it back where it was originally hidden. And then once you've gone away, or if you can get access to online immediately, or when you get back home or to a place where there's internet connection, then all you do is go into the platform and then update it and say you found it on this particular date, and then leave it at that point. So then that keeps the continuity of the whole fun aspect of it going, because now you've hidden something else in there and everybody's going to be eager to go and look for it. So in a nutshell, that's how geocaching works. So now to get you started on geocaching, so it's very easy. All you do is go to geocaching.com or download the geocaching app from the App Store. Once you've done that, it's a free process. Register. As soon as you're registered, you get access to a whole heap of free geocaches or free treasures that you can look for within your locality or further afield, and it's all over the world. You will see that it'll pop up right in front of you, so the whole heap there. Now the free option is the best way to start with, and once you've got into it and you're really involved, and if you want to go to the premium caches, that's when you got to pay the subscription. Subscriptions are not very expensive. It's about $50 per annum, or if you want to go by month, then it's about $10 per month. But I would suggest start with the free one, and you'll get access to a whole heap. Now, as I said, towards the end of this video, I'll do a demo how the app works and how you find your way around. So stick around for that. So this might sound all very easy because you've got a set of coordinates, get to that coordinate, and bang, you found it. Well, it's not as easy as that. Then the fun factor all falls away. So first of all, you get a set of coordinates, and you get the coordinates, and it's all as the crow flies. So you'll have to then use a map, whether you use your GPS or printed map, doesn't matter. You'll have to use a map to try and get to that point. And once you get to that point, it's not sticking out, like a sore thumb, so you can just immediately identify it. There are varying degrees of difficulty in various different caches. Now, again, when you go and look for a cache, or before you get there, when you look at it on the app or on the map, it'll tell you the degree of difficulty. So once you get there, then you might have to go through a whole series of clues, which are already included in the geocache on the app. So you have to sort of decipher the clues and then eventually find it. So that's where the fun aspect is. So it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's a whole lot of fun. Geocaches are everywhere, in the city, in your neighborhood, just about anywhere. When I first got into geocaching, I used to find geocaches in places like bus stops, underground car parks, in shopping centers, and so on. So it was good fun. And what I would sometimes do is, if I'm going out to see maybe a friend, meeting up for a cup of coffee or something, and I'll look at the route, and then I would also go into my geocache app and I'll look in there and I'll see on my route if there's any geocaches, and if there was any, I would make it a point to try and go and look for that. I might get my friends involved, and it was good, serious fun. And I would find them in the most unlikeliest of places. So get the kids involved. This is for the whole family. Get the kids involved, let them get to understand how the geocaching works as well. But as overlanders, and as an overlander myself, where I find it really cool fun is when I'm doing my trip planning to go on a trip. It could be a weekend getaway trip, could be a long extended trip, doesn't matter. When I'm going off-road, outback, that's when I start really enjoying myself, because there is a whole heap of geocaches out there. Looking through the geocaching map, I've found here in Australia, for example, there's geocaches all over the outback, in places like the Simpson Desert, Dalhousie Springs, Udawatta track, one of my favorite off-road touring tracks. There's heaps of, in that stretch of 600 kilometers on the Udawatta track, there is heaps of geocache points. At Lake A, Fraser Island, just about anywhere you go in the Australian outback, you will find geocaches. So trip planning, look for geocache points. So once you've found a cache, like I said, they'll probably be in a Tupperware box or a box of some sort. Take whatever is in there, the little treasure that you found, take it, but more importantly, replace it. Now, over the years, I've found key tags, little LED torch, and another time I think it was a pocket knife, so that was cool. But then, for continuity's sake, replace it with something else. So at your trip planning stage, if you are thinking of doing a bit of geocaching along with your overlanding, and if you know how many geocache points you're sort of hoping to find, take some things along with you so that you can replenish once you have taken whatever you found in each geocache. Also, don't forget to update the log. Now, usually the person who started the geocache would have put a little notebook sort of thing in there and a pen or two, but over time they tend to get filled up or pens run dry. So if you got a spare pen, if you got a spare notepad, pop it in there. I usually carry a few of these little notepads, hardly costs anything to get, so I carry a few of these in the 4B and a couple of extra pens, and if I come to a geocache point and I find that it's run dry or it's all filled up, I just throw in a new one. Don't take away the old one, let the old ones be in there. That keeps the authenticity, but just throw in a new one if you can. And once you've done that, and when you get the chance, go online on your app or through geocaching.com on your PC, and update it as well. So others who are looking at the geocache will know how recently it was found, and it keeps that interest going and that fun factor going. So don't forget to update everything. Now to show you guys a demo of how I got the app in my phone, because my phone's GPS enabled, so I find it a lot easier. However, I've also got the geocaching app in my tablet GPS as well, so if need be I grab this out of the 4x4 and I walk with this, but I find it easier with the phone. So I'll give you a demo of how this works. So what you do is, and I'll try and bring it up on the screen as I sort of talk through it. So what you do is go into your geocaching app, and I have pre-selected this one geocaching point on the Udawatta track, as I said, my favorite overlanding track here in South Australia at least. So go into the app, and then you'll see, if I zoom in a little, you'll see there's geocache points all over the place, quite a few of those. Now the ones that are available as a free access are the ones that are quite easy, clear and visible. The ones that come along with the premium option, where you got to pay the subscription, you will see they are sort of faded out. So if I tap on one of these, like this one here, it'll tell me to upgrade to the premium. So you don't need to go there just yet. So tap back on it, it goes away. And then the one above here's the one that's a free one. There you go. So once you tap on that, at the bottom of your screen would come up what that particular geocache is. So this is called, in this example, this is called the Gregory Creek Lost Heritage number 40. So then once you tap on that lower pop-up screen, it'll take you to the more details of that geocache. And at a glance, it'll tell you the difficulty level, what the terrain is like, and so on. So if you tap on, if you want to understand how the difficulty levels and the terrain ratings work, then all you do is tap on that, and then it'll give you all the information that you need. So it'll tell you what the difficulty level means, what the terrain rating means, and what the size means. So read through that, and then it'll give you a good idea. So once you get out of that, and then thereafter, if you want to get a description about the cache itself, then tap on description, and that'll give you a running description of what that cache is all about. So this particular one that I'm using as an example, it's one of the old Ghan line bridges. There's so many abandoned bridges along the Ghan track, which runs along the Udawatta track. So this is in one of those places, and so it gives you a brief description. You get out of that, and then if you want to see how active this cache has been over time, at a glance you'll see the most recent access was back in November, 21st of November 2018. And then if you tap on that, then it'll give you, you'll see all the people who have found it and put in updated the log. So here's one, the very first one, that was back on the 21st of November 2018. Found yesterday on my epic return trip to Perth via Mount Gambier and Renmark, possibly with a few more detours to be thrown in. That's one of them, and so on and so forth. So you get, you can scroll up and down, and you can go as far back as you want to see all the logs that have been put in by other people. So that's the activity. Now also, if you want to get a hint, get the clues, then all you do is go and hit the hint button there, and in this one it just says X marks the spot. So yeah, there you go. So that anything goes. So you got to go and find that out. In some cases I've found that the hints can be a little more detailed, and then eventually once you've gone through that and got that information, then go to where it says navigate. So hit the navigate button, and once you hit the navigate button, a map comes up. Obviously it's in a straight line. So in this particular example, it's just giving me a straight line from Adelaide, where I am right now, to where the geocache point is. But what I do is then on the top you get the second icon from the left, that'll give you bring up a compass. But what's important is the coordinates at the bottom of the screen. So it gives me my current location GPS coordinates. At the same time, it gives me the coordinates of where the geocache is, and that's the important one. So what then I do is I take those and I punch them into my GPS. So I would usually punch it in here if I'm mapping a route. Then what I do is I include this GPS point along my route, so it'll get me to that point, or I just keep it as a waypoint and I keep looking out for it as I'm traveling. So whichever way you want it, or you just get your phone to do it for you. And then it's got a compass as well, so you can sort of find your way around. So that's the important one. So once you've done that, just basically find your way to the cache point. And once you've done that and you found your cache, then all you do is, when you get internet access, go into the log, and you found it, so you say found it, and then go and leave a comment behind. So and then post it, so that keeps the interest going and everybody else gets to know how recently the cache might have been found. So that's one, and there's so many out there. So get the app, start playing around with it, and you realize how much fun it is. Isn't that really cool? One of the other things I love about geocaching is that it has got me to places which I normally would have just driven past, because you stick to the track and you just drive past, especially when you're doing off-road touring. And so a lot of the geocache points, you got to stop and walk a bit or take a little side route. Or most of the time it involves a little bit of walking as well. So it's got me to places that I generally would not have even thought of. To take your geocaching to another level, apart from looking for geocaches other people have hidden, start your own geocaches as well. So think of a place, maybe it's while you're doing an overlanding trip or within your neighborhood, doesn't matter. Get the whole family involved, especially the kids, they love this. Think of, get the Tupperware box, or any box for that matter. Put whatever treasure in there, notepad, don't forget that, and a pen of course, and then think of a place to hide it. Once you've hidden it, make sure you make a note of the GPS coordinates, get back onto the site, your app, and then log those details in with a bit of don't make it too easy. Throw in a few clues which people have to find, and then become part of the community. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. My channel is all about sharing my experiences in overlanding with the wider overlanding community, and I love to learn too. So if you're already into geocaching and you've been doing this for a while, please leave in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys do and what you found, and which parts of the outback you might have found, or which part of the world you might have found a geocache point. If you've got questions related to this video and you want more in-depth details on the geocaching, please leave a comment below as well, and I'll answer them or do another video another time. But get out there and start doing those geocaching, and I'll see you next week.